Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise to get you the core insights from, well, truly fascinating sources.
And today, we're really diving deep into something quite profound.
Yeah, it's this feeling, isn't it? Something we all share, but maybe don't often define. That sense of I am.
It feels so fundamental, so real.
Exactly, but then you try and grab hold of it, try to pin it down, and it just seems to, poof, vanish.
It's a classic paradox. And it's not just some abstract thought, it touches everything.
So this deep dive is all about that identity, consciousness, reality itself.
Right, we're drawing from Oscar Enrique Munoz's The Path of Beauty, specifically Chapter 4, looking at a dialogue between Ayla and Sura.
Okay, so our mission here is to try and unpack this mysterious I am. What's its connection to ourself, our ego, to the universe, even the divine?
And crucially, why understanding this isn't just philosophy for the sake of it. It's meant to be experiential, something you feel.
We'll get into what the source means when it calls the ego a phantom, but also an active force. That sounds contradictory.
It does. And how the I am is supposedly the bedrock of our reality.
Okay, sounds fascinating. Let's jump in.
Great.
So, right off the bat, Ayla in the text is struggling with this idea. How can the ego be a phantom, something sort of unreal, yet also be such an active, effective force in our lives?
Yeah, it feels like a direct contradiction, doesn't it?
It really does.
Well, the way the text explains it, the ego isn't like a solid object you can point to. It's more like a phantom of the I am.
A phantom of it, okay.
Yeah, described as neither something nor absolutely nothing.
Right.
Think about your shadow.
Okay,
It isn't a separate thing itself,
right.
but it's definitely there,
Hmm.
and it affects how you perceive things. You can't really find the ego if you look for it directly, but its effects are, well, undeniable.
So our everyday sense of self, the ego, isn't the real deal, but more like an active reflection, a powerful shadow of something deeper.
That's a good way to put it. A reflection of that deeper reality,
Mm-hmm.
the I am.
Which brings us to the main question then.
Yeah.
What exactly is this I am?
Right. At its core, the I am is described as that pure sensation of presence, that pervasive feeling of just being.
Okay, that feeling of being.
And it's tied intimately to the text calls anemic actions, basically. Our inner life, thinking, feeling, volition, wanting things.
Our mental and emotional world.
Exactly. And here's a key point. This sense of being isn't just limited to humans. The text says it extends far beyond us. Its roots go incredibly deep, universal.
And this I am, this sense of being, how does it relate to, well, reality? Does it make things feel real to us?
Absolutely. The text says the I am is precisely what we take for real within our own stories, our ego narratives.
Whether personal stories or, like, societal ones.
Both, individual or social. Our experience feels real because this feeling of being is present. It's the I am that sort of brings things into focus for us, makes them appear in the here and now.
Okay, so our identity, the story we tell ourselves about who we are, the text calls it a limiting projection of consciousness force upon substance. That sounds heavy.
It is a bit dense, yeah.
Yeah. Can we break that down? And if the I am is so fundamental, can we even really talk about it properly or conceptualize it?
Good questions. That phrase, limiting projection, think of it like consciousness, this vast force projecting itself onto the stuff of reality, but in a limited, specific way to create you or me.
Like a stencil.
Sort of. The text says it's a mere shadow cast by the ineffable being of the I am. And here's the catch you pointed out. The moment we try to define the I am, put it into words or concepts.
We're not talking about the real thing anymore.
Exactly. It's not an object. It doesn't fit into our neat little linguistic boxes. Talking about it changes it. Like trying to cup water in your hands. The act of holding changes its form.
Wow. Okay. So the act of defining it limits it, changes it. So if we can't really grasp it intellectually that way, what are we talking about when we do try to talk about the I am conceptually?
Then according to the text, we're actually speaking of the universal soul.
Universal soul. Okay, explain that.
Imagine the I am as pure, undifferentiated light. Just
Okay.
light. Now imagine that light going through a prism, creating a whole spectrum, a rainbow.
Right.
That rainbow is like how we perceive and conceptualize the whole show, existence itself.
Yeah.
That's the universal soul. So when we talk conceptually about the I am, it's already the I am expressing itself as soul. A necessary step for us to grasp it, but it's inherently a limitation of its pure, unbound being.
This naturally leads to a big question one you find in many traditions. Is this fundamental I am what people mean by the one God?
The text addresses that. It suggests the concept of the one God is like a mask.
A mask.
Yeah, a mask that the human soul puts onto its intuitive grasp of the I am. It's called the mnemic limitation, our soul's way of trying to frame the infinite.
So the I points towards unity, but it's not unity itself.
Precisely. Not unity as we usually think of it, like the number one. That concept, the number one, is presented as yet another limitation.
Ah, like how the ancient Pythagoreans saw the number one, not as just another number, but as the thing that makes counting possible in the first place.
Exactly. That's a great parallel. They saw one as the condition of possibility for the whole number series, for sequential thought. It wasn't in the series. The I isn't a quantity like that. It's unique, singular, but reflected everywhere.
Okay, let's dive deeper then into the I and the am separately for a moment. What's the nature of the I itself? It sounds almost impossible to describe.
It's definitely elusive. The text describes the I as a simple, indivisible monad without parts.
A monad, like a single fundamental unit.
Exactly. Unbraidable. It has no qualities, no limits, no relations, no attributes we can assign to it. It's non-determinable, non-definable. It's the starting point, the first term for thinking, the thing that makes the difference between knower and known possible.
But how do we even know it's there if it's so undefined?
Because this non-determinability, as the text puts it somewhat clumsily, becomes obvious through its own spontaneous, fundamental, anemic expression. It's being in me. We feel it directly, even if we can't label it.
Okay, so the I is this silent, indivisible core. What about the am? What does it bring to the table?
The am is called the first anemic determination of the I. Basically, it's the first action or expression of the I.
Action.
Yes, spontaneous action. It's described using metaphors like the being of Shakti within Brahman.
Shakti, the dynamic power emerging from Brahman, the ultimate reality.
Exactly that kind of idea. The am is that dynamic, creative power springing directly from the stillness of the I. It's the essential action of the soul. It's both its identity and its difference from the I. It's pure consciousness force.
So without the am.
Without the am, the I is just potential, but the silence pointing towards something else, as the text says.
Wow. Okay, so that's why uttering I am is so significant. It's not one thing, but this fusion, this unity plurality you mentioned,
Yes.
two sides of one coin.
Precisely. When you say or feel I am, you're expressing the core of the I, but you're immediately ascribing an action to it, being the am.
It creates a difference being relative to the I.
Yes. And you can't actually establish an I in your thought or feeling without the am instantly appearing. Being is implicitly contained within the subject.
So I am expresses both. The I and being, but fused together, an identity and a difference.
Perfectly put. The text uses those mythological pairs, Brahman and Prakriti, Shiva and Shakti.
The unmoving and the moving, consciousness and energy.
Right, or Sat, being, and Chit, consciousness, united in Ananda, bliss. It's this inseparable dance.
That's a powerful way to think about it. Now, Isla, in the source, says something interesting. She says she can't explain the I am, but she gets it, she feels it. Does that mean trying to understand it conceptually isn't really the point?
That's a crucial insight from the text, yes. Conceptual understanding isn't really necessary or maybe even possible in the way we usually think. You discover yourself in the act of being.
Not by learning about being, but just by being.
Exactly. It's not about getting new facts. It's about gaining a profound mental perspective on your own existence, on your own being.
What about self-consciousness then? Thinking about ourselves.
Well, the text describes what we call self-consciousness as just a mental reflection of consciousness itself. A kind of copy, a simulacrum.
Copy.
Yes, and one that paradoxically can actually make the direct, spontaneous action of attention opaque. It can get in the way.
Like looking at the reflection of the moon on water instead of the moon itself.
That's a perfect analogy for it.
So thinking about being can actually obscure being.
It can, in a sense, yeah.
Right.
It can veil it. But the text also says, when you do utter or feel I am, even though that itself is a limited image.
It's still powerful.
Yes, it's described as splendid, overflowing with joy, and it barely veils the real if you just surrender to the truth of it.
Surrender to it.
And this is where it gets really vast. That fundamental light of your awareness, your I am, isn't just in the universe.
Don't tell me.
The text says it is the universe.
Ah.
It's called the light of creation, the luminous principle making the universe possible, the inexhaustible source it springs from. And indeed, it is the universe itself.
Okay, mind slightly blown here. If it is the universe, then my I am isn't really mine. It's not individual.
Another one of those beautiful paradoxes. The I am actually precedes all individuation. Being you or me is just a mode, is the specific modification of the I am.
Like a wave on the ocean.
Exactly like that. It's the boundless source from which concepts like personal and impersonal even arise. So it's identical only to itself.
But at the same time.
At the same time, it's unequal, disparate. The text uses the image of the myriad blues of the Mediterranean Sea.
All different shades, but all still the sea.
Precisely. It expresses itself as countless different transpersonal souls, human, non-human, and manifests in endless forms of consciousness.
That's a stunning image. It helps make sense of it. So is the I am alive then? Does it feel my life?
The text says it absolutely feels, desires, and thinks through the intricate channels of your soul. But it isn't just life and soul. The I am itself is unborn, and therefore it does not perish. It's beyond those categories while containing them.
Unborn and imperishable. Okay. But then what about this idea mentioned in the text? Its profound game of self-limitation, of forgetfulness. Why would it limit itself or forget?
That's described as the very play of Shakti, the divine Leela of consciousness force.
Leela, the divine play.
Right. It's like a cosmic game. We experience the creative force, the great mother, as our soul life. But she's also everything else. All the forces, all the objects, all the forms of the universe.
So the I am kind of enjoys this limitation, this play.
It loves its own self-limitation, as Shakti, the text says, and sustains the play with its unchanging presence. It's a deliberate, joyful creation.
And this boundless power is happening right now, all the time, but we often miss it because we're looking for something big, something external.
That seems to be the suggestion. We wait for dramatic experiences or external objects to reveal it.
But the text says, you are that very experience in this instant.
Yes, that's the shift. Your entire life, right now, this moment, is that ravishing and magnificent experience.
But how can that be if it feels like I am experiencing it? There's that paradox again.
It is the paradox.
Yeah.
The I am has to, in a way, veil itself, forget itself for your specific limited configuration, your transpersonal soul, to even express itself.
Like my eyes can't see themselves directly.
Good analogy again. They enable sight but aren't seen. Through you, the I am perceives itself as you. Even your desire to know, to understand this.
That desire itself is part of the play.
Your desire, its desire, the text says, interposes itself spontaneously and lovingly. So the advice isn't to fight it or struggle against the limitation.
But just...
Simply reside in that profound spontaneity. Just be the experience that you already inescapably are.
Wow, okay. What a journey that was, really plumbing the depths of this I am, from the ego as its phantom reflection.
To the universal soul, that indivisible I and active am.
And this idea of it being the boundless source, the universe itself, playing this game of Leela, it's clear it's more about feeling and living it than just analyzing it.
Definitely more felt than just thought about.
Yeah.
It truly is a deep dive into the essence of being itself.
So here's something to leave you with, a thought to maybe just sit with.
If this I am really is the light of creation, always present but paradoxically veiled right here in plain sight, what might change for you if you actually allowed yourself to, as the text says, simply reside in that profound spontaneity?
Instead of always chasing the next thing, the external proof, the big experience.
Right. What might it feel like to truly recognize your whole life, this very moment included, as already being that ravishing and magnificent experience of the I am?
Something to ponder, perhaps, the next time you simply are.